In Vinland Saga, there are two lines that stick out as the most important moral lessons. You have no enemies, and no one deserves to be hurt. These are both clearly wrong. We all deserve to be hurt. And we have enemies. Enemy, a person who is actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. This is the first definition on Google, and it seems to match the colloquial use of enemy, and is a broad term. With this definition established, it's clear that people have enemies, and Thorfinn should know this more than most. The free men who bullied Thorfinn and Einar were clearly acting in opposition towards them. Askeladd acted in hostility towards Thor's, and his goal was opposed to Thor's. Thorfinn himself caused the death of many soldiers and assisted in the death of many non-combatants, acting with the full intent and desire to kill his targets. It's clear that people have enemies. So now, we all deserve to be hurt. When one violates the rights of others, the victim has the right to restore themselves to their unaggrieved state, at the expense of the perpetrator, even if the hurt of the perpetrator would exceed that of the victim. It would be wrong to stop the victim from extracting from the perpetrator. You do deserve to be hurt by having restorative costs extracted when you are responsible for damages due to your actions. Because when you take an action that puts the rights of others at risk, you assent to the notion that you are in the right to do so. Unless there is a meaningful difference between you and the victim, you cannot reasonably object to the victim doing the same to you. We all deserve to be hurt because we've all knowingly committed acts that would justify restorative extraction at our expense. Little thefts, acts of negligence, agreements made based on lies, and much, much more. These all violate the rights of others. We try to justify them using all sorts of reasons, some of them true, but it doesn't change that we have no reasonable argument to delegitimize the restorative extraction at our expense. Does this meaningfully change the lesson that Vinland Saga tries to impart in Season 2? Not at all! When they say no one deserves to be hurt, part of that lesson, and I believe the most important part, is that suffering is bad regardless of who is suffering. When they say no one has enemies, it seems clear to me the vital lesson in the show is that you ought to seek the good for everyone, no matter their hostility. The positive portrayal of Canut's goal of redeeming the Viking drives this home. In the show, these lessons are stated crudely, and that's often how we learn, but we must advance our wisdom by refining our ideas to be more truthful. If we leave it at, we have no enemies, without examining this idea further, the next time you encounter someone hostile, you may remember the lesson, but think there is no way this is true, and make the mistake of forgetting to love your enemies.